Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally that time.
It's time. It's time.
It's Kenny Pickett time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5, part 1 of the SteelTwins podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into the Steelers versus Bills week 5 preview.
It's a tough matchup coming up.
It's definitely a tough matchup. A lot of people have already wrote us off. You could already mark us down as an L in a lot of people's eyes. I'm not going to lie, myself included. I honestly don't know if we win a single game until after the bye. We could very well be 1-7 after the bye.
Yeah, considering on what our schedule is looking right now.
Right.
And that starts with the Buffalo Bills.
And not only does that start with the Buffalo Bills, so does the Kenny Pickett era.
Yes.
The Kenny Pickett era starts with an incredibly tough stretch of games for him, but it's also an exciting time to see what the kid's got in his first couple starts for the new era, for the truly post-Ben era, for the Kenny Pickett era. It's finally underway. It has finally begun. But this Sunday, he will get his first career start on the road versus an AFC elite, arguably the best team in the AFC, a Super Bowl favorite that is led by the MVP favorite right now, which is Josh Allen, and what a career he's had so far.
Yeah.
What a run he's had, and you could see his progression throughout the couple of years, and it's been very fun to watch from the opposite side, and just props to Josh Allen for being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's so dangerous. It's hard to game plan against him, honestly. He can do literally everything you ask him to do.
It's because of those reasons. It's what's caused the Bills to completely turn around or turn their franchise into what it is right now.
Right. At the helm of Sean McDermott as well, who's been an incredible coach the last couple of years and has led them to prominence after years of just mediocrity.
Yeah, both guys, McDermott and Josh Allen, have turned the Bills franchise around.
Along with a heck of a trade, which included getting Stephon Diggs, who is top 5 receiver in the league. He is dangerous. And Akella Witherspoon, our number 1 corner, at least on the depth chart, not via performance, is likely to be out again with a hamstring injury. So thus Cam Sutton, who is also dealing with a hamstring injury and I believe a groin injury, we'll see what his participation is all week. But he will probably have to get to start opposite of Levi Wallace, a former Buffalo Bill. So he knows Buffalo very well. He knows Josh Allen very well. And I would imagine he's going to be the number 1, and he will be lined up against Stephon Diggs. Not an easy task whatsoever.
No, it is not for sure.
It's not.
But he knows him very well. He's been teammates with him for the past 2 years.
Right.
That Diggs has been with the team.
But we cannot sleep on the opposite targets. You know, everyone looks at Buffalo's receiving corps, says it's Stephon Diggs and mid guys, right? I don't believe that statement. I look at a guy like Gabe Davis, who had 4 touchdowns in the divisional matchup versus the Chiefs, and he stepped up so far this year. Been a little hurt the past couple weeks, but he stepped up. So as a guy like Isaiah McKenzie, who I think he's dealing with an injury right now.
Yeah, he's right now in concussion protocol, so his status for the game is up in the air right now.
But their depth has stepped up. Dawson Knox is not to be slept on. Shout out to Devin Singletary, their starting running back, who stepped up the last 2 games as a receiving threat. So when guys are down, when guys are out, they have guys to step up and still perform at a great level. And that's why Buffalo is so dangerous.
That's why Josh Allen is so dangerous, because you surround him with all that talent and all that potential. I mean, Buffalo is one of the hottest offenses in the NFL, and it has been the past 3 years.
And probably a Super Bowl favorite, man. I keep saying it, man. I said it before week 1, is that they're my Super Bowl favorite. I think they have what it takes to go all the way this year. As for our defense, man, you know, TJ Watt's out again, as we know.
Yeah, we will not have him for this game. Obviously, he's still out.
And the reason why I say that is because, obviously, the last time these 2 teams faced was week 1 last year, where the Steelers had an incredible, fun upset. But most of that was due to the star-powered defense, due to TJ Watt's presence. We've seen the past couple weeks, without TJ Watt, the defense has been very mid. And I don't see much more progression from this defense going forward, especially with how many injuries we have from starting guys like Edmonds, like Witherspoon, like Sutton, like Hayward.
Yeah, Hayward's even got a bit of an injury right now.
Right. So, I mean,
Watt's out again. Like, our defense is bruised up.
Right.
And that's due to them being on the field constantly, week in and week out, the past 3 weeks.
And most of that has been due to the offense, and we'll get into that shortly.
But with the injuries that we sustained and how the defense has performed, and because of those injuries,
The matchup isn't favorable.
And I'm not too optimistic about how the defense is going to go up against Josh Allen in the Bills' offense.
No. The matchup isn't very favorable. I don't know exactly what to expect from this defense. All I hope is that they definitely cause pressure on Allen. But again, this guy's versatile. This guy can definitely use his legs to make the defense pay for, what they have game planned against him.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Innovative. And he uses his legs a lot. So, again, Josh Allen's not easy to slow down, not easy to limit. So the Steelers defense has to step it up. The game plan has to step it up. The three main defensive minds in the coaching staff in Austin, Flores, and Tomlin need to step it up and try to limit this hot Buffalo offense. A lot easier said than done, obviously, especially with the fact we don't have Watt and the injuries we're having right now and how limited some of these guys may be in practice and how our depth is kind of rough at the moment, especially with edge depth and defensive line. I know DeMarvin Leal is getting a lot more reps, which is good. He's looking pretty solid. Let's see more Montravius Adams in there try to cause some pressure on Allen interiorly. So Highsmith has to continue his really good reign as he continues to lead the league in sacks as of this week. Heading into. So, guys just got to continue to step up. Next man up, I suppose.
That's what they need to do, especially going up against Josh Allen.
Right, but, it's not a favorable matchup for the defense. We just hope that the guys can step up to the plate. As for the offense, man, definitely help out your defense a little bit with some sustainable drives, using Najee, using Warren more effectively, and I'm sure we're going to see that a bunch to not limit Pickett, but more so not rush Pickett. It's his first career start. He clearly had first game jitters last week. He threw 3 picks. I'm not going to dissect and microscope every tiny little detail about each pick. I personally don't give a damn.
No, and looking back at it, they weren't necessarily entirely his fault.
No, but even if it was, it's his first bit of action.
Yeah, stuff like that's going to happen with a rookie quarterback.
He played the second half last week, had 2 rushing touchdowns by himself. And, yeah, he threw 3 picks, but I think it was early game jitters because I don't know if he anticipated going in that game. So now he's going into this game knowing he's going to start. He has the whole team behind him. He has the entire offensive core behind him. He has SteelTwins Nation behind him, obviously. So he'll be a little bit more confident, a little more excited, a little more ready heading into this game compared to how he played in the second half with the 3 picks.
Not only would Pickett be more excited and confident, I think the entire offense would. The receivers, the running game, the offensive line. Because when Pickett came in, you saw the momentum that was gained from the offense, from the entire team in general, but mainly the offense. You saw them get into rhythm. You saw them be a little bit more consistent.
Yes.
And it's because they knew coming to the season that this was eventually going to be Pickett's team, and it is right now.
Right, and it's going to be the remainder of the season. There is no turning back at this juncture.
No.
The second Tomlin put in Pickett, you knew there's no turning back. I'm not going back to Mitch. Mitch is on the bench.
And I don't expect him to come off that bench unless, knock on wood, something happens.
Right, but Kenny Pickett is the guy going forward. So the entire offense is going to be around him. We're all excited to see what he got in his first career start. I don't anticipate too much action from Pickett himself. I think we're going to use a lot of the run game to not limit but not rush the guy.
Or put too much pressure on Pickett.
Right.
But he has gone up against a talented Buffalo Bills defense.
Right, which compared to previous years is still tied together with certain names. However, they did add a couple new faces this past year via the draft, via free agency. Guys like Von Miller, Kyer Elam. I know Tre'Davious White was on IR. He's eligible to return this week. I don't know if he will. We'll see throughout the coming days as we approach closer to this game. But if he's not, then guys like Kyer Elam, Teron Johnson, and Dane Jackson's going to have to step it up. Dane Jackson is a former Pitt Panther himself. And so is the guy that's stepping in for Micah Hyde since he's out for the year, DeMar Hamlin. So Kenny Pickett's going to be facing some very familiar competition.
Yes, he is.
Because he's very familiar locker room-wise with DeMar Hamlin and Dane Jackson.
Yeah.
They go way back from the Pitt days when they were Pitt Panthers in practice. So, yeah, he knows them very well, but I'm sure they know him very well.
Yeah, so coming into this game,
they're going to be a big part of the strategy for the defensive game plan this week.
And coming into this game is going to be a very interesting matchup with 3 Pitt Panthers going up against each other right here.
Right, so that's a fun aspect. I want to throw that out there. But obviously that front seven's led by Terrell's brother, Tremaine Edmonds, who's been pretty solid, being a first-round pick a couple years ago. Like we said, Von Miller is doing great. I know Greg Russo has 4 sacks so far. I mean, their front seven's pretty stacked. It's full of names. It's full of rotational guys that just come onto the field and continue to make plays.
A lot of young guys at that, too.
Yes.
They're only going to continue to grow. That's what makes Buffalo extremely scary.
Right, and you can say the same thing about their secondaries. Yeah, they suffered injuries via White and Micah Hyde and guys like that, but the depth is very solid. And although props to them for a good depth core on the secondary, the Steelers offense also has to take advantage because they are still pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
So, although I don't anticipate Pickett throwing the ball a lot, I doubt they're going to rush him in. I doubt they're going to put a lot of pressure on number 8 this game. What I do ask, though, is with his first career start, let him run free. Take off the cuffs, Canada.
Yep.
Let this guy sling it. Let this guy have fun. He's got the targets to do it. We saw last week. Pickens, a big reason why he had 100 yards, his first 100-yard game, was because of Pickett. Muth, 75 yards. Big reason is because of Pickett. He has the targets. Claypool in the slot needs to step it up. Needs to start using his size to his advantage. But hopefully with Pickett in there, he can step it up. We all know what DJ can do. He's got the targets. Let him sling it a little bit. Let him have fun. Let him have a little freedom. It's his first career start. Let's see what the guy's got.
Yeah.
But definitely game manage via the run using Najee and Warren, because when you use those two, the offense is effective. And then that's when we can get the fun side of Pickett. Let's see how he can sling the ball a little more. First career start for Kenny Pickett. I'm incredibly excited what this guy can do. This is a game that a lot of us are going to remember for a long time, whether it's good or bad, because it is the start of the Kenny Pickett era. It's officially the start of the post-Ben Roethlisberger era. It's time, guys. It's Kenny Pickett time.
Yes, it is. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I cannot wait either. But let's know your guys' thoughts down below. How do you think Kenny Pickett's going to do? Do you think the Steelers pull off an upset? It's Steelers versus Bills. It's not like last year, week 1, because it's a different roster. It's a different defense with Watt out, and we now have a new quarterback at the realm where we are officially starting the Kenny Pickett era. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm going to go into this game very similar as I did the last couple games, except a lot more excited because
Kenny Pickett time.
we got Pickett as a starter. So I'm very hyped. Let us know your guys' thoughts. Here we go, Steelers. Hey, maybe they pull off the upset, but see you guys in the next one.
Who knows? Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!